Welcome to Art with Lórien, the place to reconnect with your divine inner artist and discover the joy of painting outside the lines. So today I thought I would give you just a little bit more springtime blooms, and we're here in a beautiful coastal location where we have been whale watching. And we heard of a 60-foot blue whale that was spotted off our coastline. So we've been out today looking for that whale and looking to make that connection. And in the meantime, we've seen gray whales and dolphins and apparently a bottlenose dolphin, not only just common dolphins, but bottlenose. And so we're just really enjoying this beautiful spring, looking for signs of nature to give us omens and allowing nature to heal and rejuvenate our body, mind, and spirit. And I invite you to do the same. And all you really have to do is just step out your front door and you'll be inspired beyond, and you can come back to your studio refreshed and ready to create something with an open heart, an awakened heart. And so welcome to Art with Lórien. Thank you for joining me for part 2 of the in-studio project, Your Magnificent Self. And we're going to continue where we left off. So for this episode, basically this is a continuation. This is a part 2. So you will need the same things as before, but basically your paints, the white marker is really important, the Mod Podge with this little spongy brush, your pieces of paper with your affirmations, your journal entry with all of your adjectives and descriptive qualities about yourself, brushes and a water container, and just have all of your things around you, and we'll be ready to go. So if you need to gather those, you can meet me back here. And again, this is a part 2, so if you're coming in and you're seeing all these things, you definitely need to go back and watch part 1 and join us here for part 2, because then you'll be at the same place, basically, where we have our painted background in one color scheme. This is like a cool kind of turquoise aqua color scheme, and then my marker drawn out kind of universal face. I'm turning it into some sort of a mermaid, I think, or a mythical woman, a magical goddess. And so now I'm going to add more colors. And so now we're going to be basically putting in some more information on the face, some darks and lights, doing a little bit of blending, and then we're going to go in and add and put symbols and put hair and embellishments and some details. So for this, I say use some contrasting colors. Like for me, I'm using an aqua, and I thought I would use this orange, which is a really nice high contrast, similar to this color scheme. Maybe I'll add, let's see, yeah, I could do like this sort of robin's shell as well, and I'll be using my palette at this point to put the colors in there. Maybe some more white, maybe like gold or silver. The gold's super fun, so I have a nice gold here. And maybe the white, and that's about it. Also, I have some fun silver, and then there's like a cool there's a glittery silver. So it's fun and nice to have a bunch of options. I'm gonna probably use this glittery one, and then you'll embellish in writing with the white paint marker. So let's get started. So what I recommend is just, you're going to start with one of your contrasting colors. I'm going to use my orange here. And get a brush that you love. And I'm just going to, paint in the hair. So I'm starting to add some color now. And again, this is about the beautiful mess philosophy. This is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about enjoyment, about bringing in joy and creativity, honoring and loving the process, having fun, playing. Sometimes they get stuck. So here's the silver. Oop. I'm bringing this silver now. And you can always go right on top of your other colors. So I'm just painting right on top of this orange. And what's fun is acrylic paints dry pretty quickly. This is like a glittery paint. So I'm just going to continue to bring that in. And because I have this plastic tablecloth down, it really makes it easy to, like, if I go off the paper a little bit, I'm not ruining, not permanently making I don't have any problems with the furniture. I'm just right on top of the plastic. You can also use newspaper. I find that the plastic is pretty easy to find. And so I'm doing some white now, and I'll show you what I've got here. I like the white because it's very high contrast. And it's nice and thick. So I'm just putting in some whites and keeping my hand really loose. Keeping a nice loose arm here. And mixing in with my orange. And then we'll take on the face in a little while. Bring in some more orange. And I like to do what's called optical mixing. It's where you mix your colors right on top of your surface. So in this case, we're using paper versus mixing on a palette or a plate or whatever you have. You mix directly on to your surface, and that's how you get some of this fun, texture and blending. It's pretty organic. It's optical, so just using the eyes, your hands. Okay, that's her hair, so I'm going to bring it onto her face a little bit too. Got her ear here. I want to keep her ear showing a little bit. And I'm going to put some earrings on this girl, this goddess. And you'll see what's happened is I've covered a lot of the black marker. I mean, you can always use chalk if you have chalk. You can use like really light, like a charcoal. So I'm starting to add more of the hair around her neck. But I want to keep her neck showing. And you can, once this dries, you can always go right over it. So, okay. Doo-doo-doo. And I'm going to be adding some earrings, and I'm also, this is just like preliminaries. I'm going to put some a necklace. Okay, so you have your, I'm going to show you what I've got here. I put down like another kind of foundational layer, and again, this is working in layers, which I don't think I mentioned before, is working in layers, letting it dry, so pausing the recording, and you'll definitely want to let it dry before you start writing things with the paint marker or even adhering this with the Mod Podge. But this is where, you set aside an afternoon or some time at night or in the morning, and you really, you can leave it and come back later in the day or another day. I mean, this is sort of like I would call this a multi-part project. If you do want to do it all in one session, it's probably 3 hours without, even the video, just working on your own. Just pausing and just taking your time. But I'm going to stop right here, and then I'm going to go into the face next. So hopefully, so mine's drying. So I'm going to go ahead and work on the face now. And I'm going to use a little bit smaller brush and my turquoise again. And I'm just going to put some interest into the face, some lightness on the cheeks, and I'll show you what I'm doing. So let's see here. Got my white. Now I'm using the palette to mix some different blues, and I'm just going to bring in some lightness in the cheeks here. And I'm going to do that to give some interest to her face so she's not so flat, right? So bring in that light. Also a little dark under the chin. And you can do dark with just a teeny bit of brown. Actually, this really nice brown here. See, I'm just adding a little bit of brown. Kind of give her some shape, give her some dimension, some three-dimensionality. You can also put, like under the chin, but here on this part, and then along the ears, it's usually a little darker. So I'm just giving her a little bit. I'm starting to add some dimension to my woman here. Some interest. See, I'm just kind of playing with the lights and darks. Bring in some more light maybe under her eyes. I'm using a fairly dry brush too, by the way. And you can always do the lips, a certain color, so I'll probably make her lips, I'll make them a little orange. Just to tie in that fun hair. Kind of bring that. And you can use different size brushes for different, details. So right now at this point, we're working with some detailed elements, embellishing, darks and lights, defining, I would say. And then the embellishing is going to come with the symbols. And I like to use my fingers a lot when I'm painting. And when it dries, you can always come back with the black marker or darker paint. So I'm just bringing in some lights here. This is a very loose process, or technique, I should say. Okay. I like her lips, those are fun. Okay. And just have fun with this. I mean, this is not something that anyone's ever gonna see necessarily. You don't have to sell it or put it in the marketplace. This is just for you. And you know, I'm just playing around with colors, bringing in I'm in the same color palette. I mean, I'm basically using turquoise, lights and darks, and orange. A lot of lights. And I mean, just having fun. Now, let's say we're going to embellish. I would come up with a symbol. In this case, I used spirals. I used flowers, suns, moons, flowers. Again, this is when the paint is dry. You can come in with your marker. And I could even start to add another color. Like I have this gold, and I have this robin's blue, which is really fun. So I'm going to add the robin's blue. The robin's blue is a great addition. You'll see what I mean. So here's the robin's blue. It's a variation on the turquoise. And I'm going to start to put some, I tend to like spirals, so I'm going to put some, or like kind of waves. Maybe there'll be waves. Kind of like these waves. I have that silver sparkle still, and I also have some gold, but I'm not too sure about that. Let me see. And like with acrylics, or gouache, you can always add water. It makes the paint. This acts as a natural paint thinner. Oh, and I did talk about a necklace. So, and I mean, this really is it can be a very long process. So, I may not even finish this project with you. I may show you later. It's still a scene. So here she is. She's coming together. It's pretty nice. Okay, a necklace. I might go totally off into red. I think I'm going to bring in a bright red, maybe. Or maybe it's that gold that I've talked about. Yeah, I'm going to bring in the gold. So let's see here. Okay, here's the gold. And I'm going to give her a nice necklace. I'm going to bring her hair over that after it dries. And I'm about at that point where I'm going to probably stop fussing around with her face. And let all this dry and then bring in my marker. Okay, so I just brought these lines in here, these dark lines, and it's kind of saving her neck. Her neck was getting gone. But what I'm going to do also is bring her hair back in, the orange hair. And I really love the glitter. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to add the glitter to the necklace as well. And the glitter is silver, but I'm going to stick it right in the center pieces of those little beads. And I'm going to do a lot more of this glitter into her hair. And then I'm going to stop and let it dry and meet you back to do some embellishment with the paint pen. Okay, so now that this is dried a bit, here's mine. I'm going to go ahead and add in my embellishment with the marker. So the paint marker I'm talking about, this white one, and you can do like motifs, patterns, designs. And so this is really fun to do because now you get to, I get to just be loose. The painting is mostly done. I'm maybe just gonna work a little bit with this dark area here that got a little funky. The fairly dry brush, but yeah, I'll show you what I'm doing. I just added this dark area to the one side here. And then her ears kind of got hidden behind her hair. So I'm just going to put a teeny little outline of her ears with the darker paint. And when I say darker, it's like a brown. Just a little, indication that her ears are there. Not too much detail with the ears either. Okay, so with the marker, the first thing I'd like to ask you to do or to recommend is that you put in the words. So we have all of our qualities that we had written down in the journal, and so now you can write those words in. And it doesn't have to be a white marker. It can be if you have a set or other colors of paint markers. Feel free. It can also be permanent markers. I like paint markers. So now just put in the words that you wrote down in fun little areas around your person's, in the background, even on the body, like in this one. I have a lot in her hair, some on the neck. And you can also say I am statements with that too. So this one I have I am fun, I am considerate, I am loving, I am wise, I am funny, I am generous. So just really have fun with your words. And these are the qualities that we identified. So just go ahead and write those in first. And I'm going along the contour. So they don't need to be like horizontal or vertical. They can be, in alignment and in harmony with your shapes that you have here in your painting. So loving, wise, playful, and then after we put our words in, and maybe just like 5, 10, 15, however many you want. Let's see if I have let's see. We'll start to draw and play with some patterns and motifs. A motif is like a little design. And then a pattern is when you repeat it. So I like lines a lot. I like dots, wavy lines, curved lines. I also have some shapes here. In this particular one, moons and suns, flowers. So my symbols in this one were like the wave, and a lot of kind of curling. So we'll go in with the marker as well and emphasize those curves. So I will call this the embellishment stage. And I'm really just bringing in the marker here to like define and emphasize the shapes with the hair. And I mean, you could bring in the black marker, or other colors, whatever you like. So I do have a black paint pen as well. That could be fun. I'm gonna just focus on the white right now, and you do what you want to do. I love dots, but I'm going to stay away from dots on this one. I put dots in a lot of this type of work. Yeah. Maybe more just stay with the curvy lines. So if that helps you to stay, stick with the theme. And basically after you have come to a place of stopping, for now there's still that last piece, which is putting in this statement. And I mean, it's optional. You don't have to. I like it. And I want to show how I'm going to do it in case you do want to do it. And I'm just going to put my I am statement right here. Let's see, where am I going to put that? I think right here. Yeah. So I'm going to get the Mod Podge now and glue it right down. You put this right down. So under here, I'm putting it under, and I'm going to put it on top. And it's this collaging. Now, I have to emphasize that the marker I use is it's a permanent marker. It's not water soluble. So this is not going to bleed. And you'll see what I mean when I'm done. So I've just adhered with the Mod Podge my I am statement little torn out paper here, and this again needs some downtime to dry, and I'm going to put some paint on it. Like these ones I painted yellow and orange, and so I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and I'm going to put some orange, probably put some orange paint on there. As you can see, it's not the ink isn't bleeding from the pen because I used a permanent marker. There's lots of brands, but Sharpie's a pretty common brand, so you can use that, a Sharpie. But yeah, I'm just gonna, while that's drying, put more embellishment around her face. And these curves here, they were going to be waves, but they're kind of turning more into spiralies. And I'll show you what I have. And then the last and final step, this particular, oh, here comes some dots. Project is you could, put a sealer on it. I'm not going to, but they have low odor, not high, less toxic kind of sealer sprays, and like a varnish, and you could do that if you like. I'm going to choose not to, but they have those, or that's a possibility. You, if you want to keep working on it though, I wouldn't put any sealer on it whatsoever. Just leave it open, and you can celebrate it, put it on your wall, celebrate with it, celebrate you. and just take some of the power that you've instilled and all the good energy and the mojo that you've put into this painting and use it like a talisman. So here's my girl. Here it is. I'm not totally done. I want to put some paint on this little collage element, and I can do that now. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of this orange with the water. So it's going to be a transparent orange, so it blends more and isn't so white. Okay, so I just put that on there. So here's my magnificent self-portrait or selfie, self-respect project. And yeah. So yeah, I encourage you to still play with it. I still might put earrings on her. Like this particular one has earrings and I really like that. So I may do that. I'm noticing that my white marker was starting to run out, so I'm gonna go over my words with a little thicker. You can bring these to life by shaking them or pushing down. I'm gonna go over my words so they really stand out. They need like another layer. So I guess at this point, wherever you're at, just keep working, enjoy. And I think the last step is just to go over and just see, that you've put in all your finishing touches and refinements, your embellishments. It dries, you can frame it, you can hang it, you can give it to someone or keep it private. And I hope that you enjoyed this part 1 and part 2 of this project. Again, in the description are all the materials for both part 1 and part 2. And here's what I have. Oh, I'm going to do one more word. And I invite you to subscribe, to support this channel, to comment. Let's see. Oh, there's another big word. And also, I will be putting in the description, just PS, is the information about the Living Values Education Program, where I discuss the inspiration for putting this project together. I did teach it to a group of children, and we had a great time. It was very successful. And maybe even I'll put a picture up in the video of our some of those examples. So look for those at the end of this video. And but yeah, again, these are for people of any age group, and I encourage you to share and enjoy, and really just dive in deep to the inner world, your inner world, and bring all that beauty out through creativity. So thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll see you in the studio.